Welcome you all to our Achieva Academy. Now student, last time we have completed types of solids. So today we will study classification of solids. Now classification of solids depends upon the particle and their interactions. So let's see, there are the four types of crystalline solids are there. First is ionic solid, then the covalent solid, molecular, and then metallic solid. Okay, so let's do the comparative studies of these three crystalline solids. First property, which you are going to see, the particle. As I have said, particle means the atom, ion or molecule which are present. Now, as you know, ionic solids. So, ions means what, students? Cation and anion. So, here particles are what? Particles are, here I will make the table so that very easy. So, cation and anion, or you can call them as a ions. Covalent solids. Now, covalent solid means what? Simply the molecules will take part in the bond formation. So, there will be a sharing of electron takes place. So, the atom of a elements. Molecular solid. Molecular solids, now molecular solids are also monomolecular or polymolecular. So, monoatomic or polyatomic molecular solid. So, here I can give you the example of chlorine, then the hydrogen, water molecule, that way. Now, metallic solid. Metallic solid, by the name it is very clear, metal ions are taking part in the reactions, in the interactions. Now, what is metal? Metal is nothing else but the positively charged ions which are present in the sea of negatively charged electrons. Electrons are present at the surface of the metals which conduct the electricity. So, here metal ions and the electrons. So, metal ions and electrons. Now, interaction. What interaction is there? Particular interactions. So, as cation and anion is there, then the type of bond which is going to form is a strong electrostatic force of attraction will be there. So, it is a electrostatic bond will be there. Now, covalent. As we know, sharing of electron is there. So, bond is purely covalent in nature. Covalent bond. Molecular solids. Now, students, molecular solids, you know, in that three interactions are there which you have studied in 11th standard. We have studied dipole-dipole interactions. That is first, I will write here dipole. Second, we have studied, that is dispersion, or the other word is London forces. And the third in this is hydrogen bond. Hydrogen bonding is there, or hydrogen bonds are there. Now, what is this dipole-dipole interaction? I'll give you the example for this. A polar molecule. Like take example of HCl or take example of HF. So, or HBr, hydrobromic acid. So, here if you will see example HCl, here hydrogen is a positively charged, whereas chlorine is negatively charged. So, between this positive and negatively charged, there what generates? Pole generates, and due to this polarity, it is going to attract other HCl molecule when chlorine is a negatively charged and hydrogen is a positively charged. So this is a positive charge and there is a bond formed, which is a dipole-dipole interaction is there due to the polarity. Now dispersion and London force. This is actually it is observed in case of the non-polar molecule. The example is benzene is there, benzoic acid is there. So all these molecules, they doesn't contain the polar nature. So their instantaneous development of dipole takes place due to the electron which moves around the nucleus. Nucleus is the positively charged, electron cloud is a negatively charged, and for that, for an instantaneous moment, that charge is developed, the interaction developed, and that is what is dispersion or the London forces. Now you can understand from this, these interactions are what? These are not a strong kind of interactions. Hydrogen bonds. Very good example for this hydrogen bond. I can give you the water molecule. Now you know, in water molecule, two hydrogen atom link to one oxygen. Now, in hydrogen bond, it is an intermolecular interaction where this water molecule, where hydrogen is the negatively charged and this hydrogen is the positively charged. This hydrogen which is positively charged, it will attract to the other water molecule where hydrogen is what? It is a negatively charged. So you can understand from this that interaction between one water molecule where hydrogen is a positively charged and interaction with the another water molecule where oxygen is a negative charge. So this interaction is between the two water molecules.
Normally, sir.
And that's why what happens? A hydrogen bonds forms. So this hydrogen bonds creates a temporary interactions. So this all comes under the molecular solids. So have you understood these three interactions? Now let's go with the next, that is the metallic solid. Now student, as I have said, metals are what? Positively charged, electrons are negatively charged. So there is a attraction between the positively charged metal ion and negatively charged what? Electron. So again the interaction is between, interaction takes place with the electrostatic force is there between the positively charged metal ion and the electrons. Okay, now the next point is hardness. Now hardness, after that we are going to study the melting point and then thermal and electrical conductivity. Now all these 3 points are depends upon the particles and their interaction, which is really very important. So let's write about the hardness. Ionic solids, they are hard and brittle. So as the bond formed by the not sharing but the transfer of electrons, so they are the hard and at the same time they are brittle also. Covalent, as I have said, there is a sharing of electron, the bond is very strong. So what will happen to the hardness? It will be very hard. Okay, molecular solid. You have seen the type of interaction which is not very strong. So they are very soft. And then the last one, metallic. Now metals, you know, they are soft, at the same time they are hard also. So it is variable from soft to very hard. So the next point is the melting point. As this hard and brittle one, so its melting point is from 600 to 3000 degrees centigrade, whereas the covalent, they are very, very hard one. So it is from 1200 to 4000 degrees centigrade. And then molecular solid, as I have said, they are very soft. So it is from minus 272 degrees centigrade to 400 degrees centigrade. Metal, soft to very hard. So it's from minus 39 degrees centigrade to 3400 degrees centigrade. So the harder one are the covalent solid. Next, go to the next point, that is thermal and electrical conductivity. Now thermal and electrical conductivity. Now you can see here cation and anion are there, but only in the molten state ionic solid carries the current. Otherwise they are poor conductor of electricity. So they are poor conductor in the solid state. But in molten state they are conduct the electric current. Okay. Covalent solid. As sharing of electron, bonds are very strong, so electrons are not at all available to conduct the electric current. So they are insulator. Insulator of heat and electrical conductivity. But there is a one anomalous behavior to this covalent nature, that is graphite. We know graphite is what? It is a covalently bonded. But graphite, it shows its work, it conducts the electricity. So graphite is a good conductor of electricity. So here we'll write graphite, good conductor of electricity, as well as the diamond. Diamond is what, student? Is very hard. Still it conduct the heat easily. So it is thermal conductivity carried by the diamond. So these both are just the anomalous, shows anomalous behavior than that of the covalent. Then the next is molecular solid. Molecular solid, as we have seen, they are very, the type of interactions are very weak. So they are poor conductor of heat and electricity we can say, or electric current. Metallic solid. As we know, metals are what? Metals where the metal ions are present in the sea of electrons. So they are very good conductor of heat and electric current. Understood? Okay. Now let's write few example of this. So I'll write the example here only. Ionic solid. The examples for the ionic solid is, you can take NaCl, you can take calcium fluoride. For the covalent solid, the example is, you can take the diamond. The best example for this, diamond is there. For the molecular solid, you can take the example benzoic acid. Okay. And finally metals. Metals you can give many number of examples like gold, silver, then the mercury and all. So with this we have completed the classification of crystalline solid, that is ionic, covalent, molecular and metallic solid. Okay, now we'll study the next topic, that is crystal structure. Now what is crystal structure? The order three-dimensional arrangement of particles in a crystal. Okay, so yes, as I have said, the order three-dimensional arrangement of particle in the crystals. So it is mainly the 2 points are considered in it, that is lattice and the basis. Okay, so if we want to understand crystal, so crystal is formed by the combination of two, that is lattice and basis. The other word for basis is motif. So let's understand one by one what is it. Lattice. Now lattice is geometrical arrangement of, it's a geometrical arrangement of lattice points in the three-dimensional periodic array. So I'll show you with the help of this diagram here. Suppose these are the points which are there in the 3 dimensions. Okay, so when we will join these points like this, on joining these points, these lattice points, what we get is a three-dimensional periodic structure. Now, let's see what is basis. So you can see here this spherical particle, these particles. So the constituents particle on attaching to the lattice points, forms the basis or motif of the crystal. Understood? What is it? The constituents particles on attaching to the lattice points forms the basis or motif of the crystal lattice. So when these two combine, what we will get is our crystal. So I'll show you here. So suppose this is the lattice. And when we will attach this basis, that is the particles, so I'll show you here. So whole this will give us the crystal. So then how we will define the crystal? Crystal is a structure which results on attaching basis to the lattice point. I repeat, crystal is a structure which results on attaching basis, this basis to the lattice points. It is a crystal. So our crystalline solid is made up of crystal lattice. After this we will study the next term, that is unit cell. So before defining unit cell, I will show you one structure, that is a structure of the crystalline solid, and from that we will understand what is unit cell. So students, see here I am drawing this diagram. You all please pay attention how I am drawing it. So at an equidistance we will draw this spherical, this 9 spherical particle we have drawn. Okay, so should be try to bring it in one line. Then we will join this spherical particle Now, as we want to show the three-dimensional crystal structure, we will draw at an angle of 45 around another particle for same shape, size. So for each particle, you draw. Now what we will do, we will again join all these particles. So like this. Okay. Now student will join this way so that we will get a 3D figure. Okay. Now, here you can see this is a small cubical structure which is on down to this cubical structure. Other cube is there, beside other cube is there, in that side, like this is a 4 cubes are attached to each other. Now, if we want to show one more layer, we can draw same way at an angle of 45. We'll draw, so that we can show the one more layer. So try to see that they will come in one line, so your structure will be very perfect. So this here I'll draw, so they should be in one line like this. Okay, we'll join them. So with the black, so that it is very easy to see. I have drawn the cross line like this. Okay, now we will join these particles. Okay. Yeah. So, okay. So, what you can see, earlier there was the 4 cube were there. Now, backside also one more layer is there. So, here this one cube or this one structure is getting attached to the another, and down there is one more. So, you can see this corner of each cube is got shared with each other, as well as their faces. See, this face is got shared with between the 2 cube. So, like that their corner, their edges, their sides or their faces got shared. So, like that if you stack this cubical structure, so what we will get is a solid, crystalline solid. So, this cubical structure what you have drawn, this I will highlight it. So, it's very easy for you to see. Yeah. So, this red color structure I will draw it again beside. So, what is this? This is the small unit which you have drawn beside. So, this a small unit is called as a unit cell. So, how we will define unit cell now? How we will define it? See, it is the smallest structural unit which repeated again and again. So, repeating smallest structural unit is called the unit cell. How we will define? A smallest repeating structural unit which forms the crystalline solid is called as a unit cell. So, this is nothing else our unit cell. So, this is a 3-dimensionally face. So, let's give its dimensions. So, as it is 3-dimensional, so there are the 3 axes are there. Okay. So, Z, here, Y, and here we will show the X axis. Okay. Now, edges. Edges we will show. Okay. So, we will give this along the axis Z, this edge or this side of the cube we will represent it by the alphabet C. This is with the B and this is with the A. Okay. Now, you can see the angle is there along the 3 axes. The angle is there, and that angle we will show with the different alphabet. This is angle alpha. This is angle gamma. And here we will show angle beta. So, these are the 3 angles along the 3 axes. So, these are the dimensions of the unit cell, students. And as we change the value of edge lengths and as we change the value of angle, we get the different what? Unit cell. So, with this we have completed unit cell. Thank you.